So what if you have bad credit or you have no credit history?
If a person has bad credit, for example, and everyone is going to have bad credit, because the banking industry, you've heard about the credit scores, on TV,
Sure.
There's all these things, call this for your credit report. The credit score system is designed so that you continue to have a lower credit score. Here's an example. You get a credit card application in the bank. Oh, this is good. It says $500 limit. So you fill out the application, send it in. Boom, you just lowered your credit score. They don't tell you that. Then you think, I have too many credit cards. I think I'm going to take control of my credit and take control of my debt. I'm going to actually cancel some of these credit cards. Seems like a reasonable thing to do. Well, if you call up and cancel one of your credit cards, you've lowered your credit score, which means the next one you get is going to be a higher interest rate and higher fees. So the system is designed to keep a person lower so that the banks make more and more money.
So how do you get out of this cycle? Because what you're saying is what I think a lot of people do. They get a credit card because they want to make their score higher,
right.
And then they get rid of them.
They don't know the rules. That's the problem, and nobody's publishing the rules. And that's why I wrote this book. If you're watching right now and you have credit card debt, if you can't pay your bills, if you're behind on your payments, if you don't have any credit, maybe you can't get a credit card, this is the book you need to get. Debtcures they don't want you to know about. As a consumer advocate and a whistleblower, I've exposed many industries in the past. Over 15 million of my books have been sold right now all over the world, letting people know the secrets that can allow them to turn their life around. You can stop the pressure. You can stop the frustration instantly. If you don't have a credit card, in this book I tell you how to instantly get a credit card. Instantly with $500 limit, even up to $2,000 or $3,000 limit. If you need money to pay off your bills, I tell you in here how you can get $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in cash that you never have to repay, and you can use that money to pay off your bills. If you have credit debt collectors hounding you, there's a technique in here. You can instantly stop the debt collectors. If you want to reduce your payments in half, if you want to reduce your credit card debt and wipe out your debt, there are systems in here without bankruptcy that can allow you to do that. Folks, get on the phone right now and get Debtcures they don't want you to know about. Just $29.95. It's not available in the stores yet. It is the answer. It is the answer to get you out of debt and get your life back. We'll also throw in on today's show, there's a CD I have called 25 Secrets to Wealth Creation. And I list here 25 simple ways where you can use debt and credit, how to get $1 million in credit to start a business, how to use credit, how to use debt properly to build wealth and have huge amounts of money. Then there's a very simple guide, because people think I'm not going to read the whole book. There's a very simple guide, the 10-minute guide to instant fixing your credit score. This is thrown in for free. And when you do call, make sure you ask about my monthly Debtcures newsletter. The reason the newsletter is important, and that's optional of course, is because every month new programs come out. And so the government comes up with new programs, grant and foundations come up with new programs, and people need to know the phone numbers so they can get first in line. The reason that that's important is a lot of these programs have a limited amount of people that they'll give the money to. So I'm going to be one of the first people to publish this. So if a person who's on the newsletter, for example, they'll be first in line and they get the money pretty much instantly.
We actually have someone on the phone now. It's Shannon from New York. Hi, Shannon.
Hi.
Hi, Shannon. How are you?
Good. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Good. You have a question?
Yes, absolutely. I actually have some debt that I've incurred, but I still have a pretty decent credit rating, so I'm not able to consolidate. I finally found one program that would consolidate my debt, but I was paying almost $357 a month, and for 9 months, I barely lowered it, maybe even $200. That's a huge difference. It looks like the only way out is bankruptcy or anything, because nothing is helping me to cut my payments, and I'm struggling to make ends meet.
The debt you have right now, is it credit card debt primarily?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone has credit card debt. Here's the answer to your question, but thank you very much for calling, Shannon. If anyone is in that situation where you have huge amounts of debt and you're thinking, I have a decent credit rating, but I have all this debt, I have these high interest rates, so my monthly payments are really, really big. And then, heaven forbid, you're late on a payment, because then you get whacked with these late fees. Or if you go over, you're really, getting whacked with these overcharges. So this is a really bad thing. So here's the answer. In the book, I tell you how to take these credit cards that you have, all the debt a person has, for example, with credit cards, not consolidate them, how to wipe them out, virtually eliminate all the credit card debt. How? Because the credit card debt has this 21.9% interest rate. It can go up to 28%, which should be usury interest. I mean, loan sharks, charge that.
Right.
But there is a simple way to take credit card debt and eliminate it. When you eliminate credit card debt and reduce the interest payment and all the fees, you can reduce your payments by half. Now, if a person has $1,000 a month in credit card debt, going down to $500, how would that change your situation? And then, of course, we teach you how to get credit cards without the fees and without the high interest rates as well.
She also mentioned bankruptcy.
You don't need to file bankruptcy. Bankruptcy can be certainly an option in some very isolated instances, but it's not needed. As a matter of fact, once you file bankruptcy, you become, according to the banking officials, you become the target now for every scam and ripoff that the banks have, because you are the person who can't get any decent rates or any decent fees. You're screwed. I mean, that's the person they come after. They know you can't file bankruptcy for a number of years. And so, see, people have to understand, it's the system. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. People say, well, I spent the money. Look, if you spend the money, that's fine. But it's insanity if you bounce a check. If you bounce a check, you're getting a $35 bounce check fee, then your overdraft of $45. If you're late on your credit card, just another $45. There was a report, a documentary that showed a person bought something on television for, I think, $19.95. With all of the interest, late fees, and penalties, it actually cost them $179.
Well, you hear that time and time again, but what can people actually do then if they have bad credit history, and no credit?
Right. If a person has bad credit, let's talk about that right now. If you have bad credit, for example, there are ways to, and that's what this guide, for example, the 10-minute guide to instantly fixing that, there's some simple, easy ways to correct and fix the bad credit. Most bad credit, by the way, is misinformation on the credit card app, on the credit score. It's not correct information. It needs to be corrected. Try to correct it. You can't. But there are two magic words that you can use to instantly correct it. Let me tell you a story about this. I was talking to a fellow of mine, I know this guy pretty well, who had a credit card. He tried to get a credit card. And when he applied, the bank said, you have a $15,000 outstanding bill. He said, it's impossible. I never had a credit card with your company. They said, yes. He sent letters. He made phone calls. All he got was, these recorded messages and, if press 2, press 4.
It's not worth it.
Correct. He sent letters. He just got form letters back. He said, this is not mine. For years, he hired an attorney. The attorney tried to get it corrected. No chance. He learned the two magic words. He made a phone call, called the credit card company, and he talked to somebody, used the two words, and they said, let me correct the problem right now. Okay, you're now corrected, and we're going to send you a platinum card today. We're very sorry for the inconvenience. Now, the two words, that's what I talk about in the book. I give people that information. Again, if you're watching right now, this is the book, Debtcures They Don't Want You to Know About. If you have credit card debt, if you can't get a credit card, I tell you how to instantly get a credit card. You can have a credit card within a week after you get this book, and up to $500 instant cash money. The information is in the book. If you need $10,000 cash right now, I tell you how to get it virtually in 24 hours, and you never have to repay that money. If you need $20,000 or $30,000 to pay off your bills, it's in here. There's also government programs in here that I share that allows you to get money from the government, never repay it, to start a business. $100,000 to start an ice cream shop. You can get $400,000 to travel the world. You can get $30,000 to buy a home. You can get the money for a down payment on a home for free and never pay it back. $29.95, Debtcures They Don't Want You to Know About. And then when you call right now, we'll also throw in the CD, 25 Secrets to Wealth Creation. We'll also throw in the Debtcures 10-minute guides to instantly fixing your credit. That's virtually a $60 value. And make sure you ask about the Debtcures newsletter so you can get the updated information on all the new ways to improve your credit, fix your credit, and get free money. I think that's really the key. There are free money programs out there that people can get, and it's not very hard.